Greetings, everyone. I just felt compelled tonight to share a few of the thoughts that were on my mind. And this will be it for tonight. One thing that I've learned as being a Gen Xer is that not having to be approved or not seeking people's approval or validation is freeing. It's very freeing. And it's nice when people that you love or care about reciprocate your feelings. It's pleasant when people that you think are kind of cool like you or care about you. But it's important to not seek approval or validation from other people all the time. You have to learn how to play the game. Like if you're in a job, and there are certain situations you kind of got to play a game. But if you truly are not worried about if people approve of you, you will feel so free. And it can be, sometimes it's lonely, because a lot of people out in the world thrive on conditional love, or thrive on setting conditions for people to be approved or to be loved or to be validated. And I mean, that kind of behavior is a little narcissistic. It could just be toxic, I mean, if you're an authentic person, you would never require someone else to get your approval. Now, if you're in a loving relationship, and I'm definitely not that's not my forte or anything, but things like that will come naturally if you communicate. And that's something that I'm working on. But you can't change the cards that you were dealt as far as your family. Or let's say, maybe you went to a certain school and there were bullies in your school. You know what I mean? It's like you have to make the best of the situation that you can. But the sooner that you can come to the realization, and I believe it's best if children figure this out, that you don't always need to seek approval from people, you will be free. And our systems are set up, created with conditional approval. You're only approved of if you do this. It's like you sort of get pushed into this, I don't want to say matrix, but you're sort of forced into these systems in which if you do not comply with the system, you are going to suffer. You will be penalized. And it goes for individuals too. And it's not to say that we shouldn't have expectations in relationships if in fact these relationships have been established. Do you really have a relationship with this person? Or do you not? And really, what is a relationship? How do you determine if you have a relationship with someone? A friendship or a romance or what do they call them now on the internet? The parasocial relationship or whatever it's called. But That's one thing I would try. I was going to be a teacher at one point. That was my first major. Well, no, my first major was music, and I didn't do that because everyone talked me out of it, which, I mean, who knows? My life could have been different, I suppose. But then I was kind of pushed in, speaking of approval, right here. The counselor that probably didn't know anything about anything was telling me to consider teaching. That was like the second major when I was going to go to school. And then I soon learned, I was like, there's no way. As much as I love children, I was like, there's no way I could be a teacher. And I really respect a lot of teachers, what they go through, the good ones, But it's weirdly enough, this is a perfect example. But, the systems are built. And there's some benefits to the systems that we have. There's some good benefits, a lot of negative ones, but it would have saved me a lot of heartache knowing I didn't have to always have someone's approval or validation. But I mean, look at just going, and I'm going to be working on this, guys. I didn't forget about the resume stuff. I'm going to start writing out a kind of like, not like a syllabus or a plan in how I want to present the resume stuff and the cover letters. But that's an example right there. You've got to jump through these hoops, get approval. But I suppose there's got to be some kind of a system. But and now, not needing approval doesn't mean that you have to be a nasty human being or mean or cold-hearted to people. It's kind of, in a way, it's like you're setting up certain kind of boundaries. And I've been like this for a long time, and I'm on my own a lot because a lot of people want to either control you or they want you to bow down to their knees and you're supposed to approve them and you're supposed to. It's kind of funny. My dad used to always say this, get down on your knees and genuflect, and the less that you do that, some people get turned off by that. And it's not that you're unfriendly or rude. It's not that. It's like maybe you're engaged in a conversation and you're just kind of like standoffish, or you're like, you don't have much of an opinion about something, or they say something that they think you should agree with, and you're like, okay, that's interesting. I always love to do that. Try that once, you guys. Oh, people get irritated. That's interesting. Because you're supposed to, right away, you're supposed to just, without question, adopt, conform, and agree with what they're saying. There was this person I had some interactions with, and I don't have interactions with this person anymore, and I would say to this person, oh, that's a good perception you have. I have my own perception. You know what I mean? And anyone like pushing their ideals or their thoughts down your throat, like that you have to accept what they think and what they believe in, man, you need to take that somewhere else. Honestly, I don't think a whole lot can bother me in my life. I was made different, man. But not in a bad way. But I mean, you have to stand up for yourself. And I can sometimes veer too far in one direction. But unless a person's going to be around me to love my conditions, I mean, I guess, I don't want to say conditions, but something that I expect from people that are around me, whether they're a friend or a family member, is you will respect me and you will love me and you will nurture me. If you can't have those three qualities, then you're not for me. So it just makes your circle smaller. But in demanding the best for yourself, you're going to create a better life for yourself. So sometimes it can be lonely. Like, my life is lonely sometimes, but, and I'm working on some things. I'm working on a lot of things, especially my health. But I will not be around anyone who's not nurturing. That's like deal breaker number one. And it doesn't take me long to tell if you're a true nurturer. That is just a deal breaker and a half. And even if a person uses a passive-aggressive method with me, I couldn't care less, because all you're doing is showing me who you are, and I'm like, deuces, you know what I mean? So I think when your discernment gets stronger and clearer, that's just how it is. And I look forward to, once I get through this cancer journey, I don't even like to use that word, but I like to look at it more as like a health journey, because I'm focused on health, you know what I mean? Once I get through this, and I will get through it, I've got some amazing things I want to contribute to the world before I leave the earth. And whenever it is my time to leave the earth, I can assure you I'm not going to stop. I'm going to contribute to the betterment and raising the vibration of the planet and the galaxies if I can. You know? So I truly hope that some young person may hear this and really hold on to it in the back of their little minds. And I have my YouTube channel set up for no children. But if they're with an adult that is a good adult, and they may hear this, it would be good for them to learn from this. And I could only learn in my life what my parents had learned. And again, I am going to talk about my mother's sexual abuse, her incestual sexual abuse from her own father. I have to figure out how I'm going to talk about it. But anyways, I hope you guys got a little nugget of something from this. And I hope that you have a good night or a good day wherever you are. Peace.